Okay, welcome back. So I was just tweaking a few things. So I just made the radius of the light source bigger, and I gave it a little bit more raise. I'm looking at the wrong thing. I made the radius bigger, and I gave it a little bit more raise. And I have to say, it looks pretty cool. Like, I'm really happy with what I have here. And so what I noticed is that when I make the radius bigger, the distribution here of the rays along the edge of the circle seems to be better, seems to be more in line with what I wrote, right, with what I was expecting, so like an equal distribution along the edge. And so if I make it even bigger, I haven't tried this actually, but what I'm expecting to see is that it's going to be even better, like it's going to seem even more accurate. And except for the last point here, which is really way too big compared to the other one, like the other ones. Like this angle, I don't know why, but yeah. And so this looks pretty well distributed, right? What's cool, is that I can bring it up here. It's kind of like the sun and like casting rays on objects. This looks really dope. I'm really happy with that. But yeah, I think I kind of found the issue, and I think it's due to loss of information due to the fact that coordinates are integers. Let me explain myself. I'm not going to fix it here. I haven't found a solution. I haven't thought about it enough. I'll try maybe to do it like another time. Because so far, other than that, everything is fine. So I'm not gonna bother wasting too much time just fixing a little issue like this. But here in render rays in our light source, so we have so basically we calculate P1 each time. So P1, if I want to represent it, P1 is, so we have the center of the light source that is right here, and we have P1, like it's a point here on the surface, on the edge of the circle, right? And so each time here in the loop we calculate the coordinates of P1, and we calculate a certain amount of times, NB raised times. And here, since P1x, this is P1x, it's going to be x plus radius times cosine of this. But since P1x is an integer, we are implicitly converting this into an integer, even though this is not an integer. This is a floating number, a floating point number, a double. And so we are losing information, and so in reality, the point, like for example right here, where the angle is a little bit too big, maybe if we didn't lose that information, it would be placed just a little bit above or something like that. And since integers, so like when in let's see, paint as always, when we have an integer in C++, I haven't checked it, but I feel like that's how it works. If we have an int x, so and it's equal to, I don't know, like 0.606, it's going to get rounded to 0, even though it's closer to 1 than 0. So if I do 0.9, it's going to get converted to 0. And so what I think I should do is, like here, look, this a difference of 1 pixel can be huge, especially if the radius of the light source is very small. And so if this is about equal to 0.9, we would have x plus 0.9, which would just give us x, right? And not 0.9, this, cosine 0.9, then times radius. And so we are losing a lot of information because we are multiplying 0.9, or like, I don't know, let's say 0.6 times radius. So if the radius is 200, then it will be 200 times this, and so we're losing even more information if at the end it's going to get rounded down. And so yeah, I'll try to fix this at some point by doing a case where if the result is between I don't know, like if it's below 0.5, x below 0.5, then 0, x above 0.5, then 1. And I don't mean x here, it should be like cosine of x or cosine of like our angle or whatever. And so I think I'm gonna do this at some point. I'm not going to do it here. I just wanted to explain what I'm thinking about. And yeah, so I think that's a good idea. So I'll apply this here, and maybe I'll also apply it here, because here P2x and P2y, they are it's also, I mean, they are also getting converted, because distance times cosine here is supposed to be a double. This is also supposed to be a double. So I think at some point I'll just write a function that's going to solve this, but not right now, maybe in the next one. Right, so I'm just going to close this. I'll just make the radius a little bit smaller. Right, so let's make it 100. Let's run it again. And so this looks good. Like, I'm happy with how it looks, but as you can see, when it's small, the unequal distribution is really obvious. I mean, the distribution is technically equal, it's just that the pixels are creating loss of information. So yeah, other than that, this looks really cool. I'm happy with it. Okay, so for today, clean the code. It's boring. No one likes to clean the house. Well, some people do, and I'm not one of them. But sometimes you just have to do it, right? If you don't, it's just like a house. It gets messy and all that. You can get used to it, and you kind of feel comforted by like the mess because it feels like home. Like, you know the mess, you know. But objectively speaking, it's a bad habit because you can get lost easily, and like the more messy it is, the more you'll dread having to clean it. And so it's better to just like keep it clean all the time by doing small changes than to just let it happen and accumulate messiness and accumulate mess, and then just have to spend several hours just cleaning everything, making it clean. It's kind of like procrastinating, but I'm the king of procrastinators, so I'm not going to pretend like I'm a prophet or anything that people should listen to. Okay, enough yapping, enough talking, let's code. So, clean the code. Well, what should I clean? Let's think about it. So I had an issue, right? Basically, lots of functions are taking obstacles and count as parameters, and I'm not a big fan of that. I think in Ray, I think maybe in Ray it's fine that if it takes these parameters, but it was more like in LightSource. I feel like I should change something. So first of all, render circle, render fill, I'm going to change these. Just going to create render, and then I'll put circle or fill as a parameter, right? And so I'll just do an enumeration here. Enum LightSource type, and then I'll have two types, so circle, let's do ls circle and ls fill, and maybe at some point I'll also have to do some big changes on the LightSource class so that it can be a rectangle, it can be a lot of different shapes. I don't know. This is thinking a little too. I'm just thinking a little bit too much in advance here. So I'll just have both of them here. And you know what? I'll just create here void render SDL renderer SDL rect. Let me just see. Rect obstacles int count. And you know what? Let's make them const. this is const. Nothing is constant in this world, as I said before, but this is going to be const. And so here it's going to be LightSource type, or let's just call it ls type to make it shorter. I'm the only one who's going to read this code anyway, so haha. Well, if that were true, if I really thought this way, I wouldn't clean my code right now. But ls type, and it's going to be type, I suppose. Right, and const as well. Okay, so now let's write this function, this method, and well, basically this and this, they're still going to exist, no problems. It's just that I'm going to put them as private attributes. Maybe at some point I'll have to make them protected if I want to make this like an abstract class and make some classes that, and like create some other classes that derive from it. Oh, actually, no. I mean, it's not a problem for now, because right now my light sources, I only want them to be like circles or whatever. So let's not think about it too much. Let's just do this, right? Render, and this too, I can put it as private, and yeah, I just want the user to have set color, render, and move. And so render is just going to be if type equal to circle, ls circle, then I'm going to do render circle. So this render circle, renderer obstacles count. Non-static member function. Oh, right. My bad. I forgot something very important. And why does it not work here? So it cannot be const here. It cannot be const. Maybe I need to make it const here as well, because I'm not changing it, right, in my function. I'm not actually changing it, right? I can also make everything const. Let's just make everything const because I'm not changing stuff except the renderer. Up here, let's just make everything const. Okay, const, 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 const. You're right. Const. And I think at some point what I'm going to do is just create a separate file. So even here in my draw, I need to make it const. And so even in Ray here, I'm gonna have to make it const. And now everything in const and everybody is happy. This is a member function can be made const. Well, perfect. Let's make it const then. Just make everything const. I guess everything can be const in this world. Everything. Right, let me see. Let's look at everything here. Can this be made const or not? Render raise. Oh, because we're using raise clear and raise pushback. And I mean, we're not using the raise attribute so far. Like, we're not using it anywhere. This. Where is it? I'm going too far. Here, we're not using this attribute so far, but at some point, maybe we're going to use it. So that's why I'm leaving it here right now. And you know what? Render, this can go away. I'll just make it render and ls fill or ls circle. Now let's see if this works. Right, so this works. It's the same as before. And let's make it so this only works for this, but now let's make it if type equal ls fill, then I'll do this render fill render obstacles count. Right. Yeah. And here basically when I have a light source, I won't have to choose between render circle or render fill or whatever. I'll just render and then I'll just pass in an attribute which is just going to be ls circle or ls fill. Let's see. Yeah, I mean this works. It's not as pretty as when it's a circle. I feel like it looks better when it's just a circle, but yeah, this looks really nice. Okay, almost 200 lines of code. That's cool. We are chilling. Let's see. Clean the code. So I'm not done cleaning it, am I? Set color, light source, render circle, render fill, render raise. Okay. So this I could do it, make it as a function, but I'm going to leave it because it's not very awkward, you know. It's not that awkward. It's not this problematic, so I can keep it here. Same thing here. Or actually, since this is basically the same things that I'm doing, maybe I should make it a function. A private one as well. Render circle. Render by symmetry. Right. I'll just do that since we're at it. While we are at it, render by symmetry. Symmetry. I think it has 2y. Let me see. Symmetry. Yeah. Render by symmetry. SDL. Render. Renderer. And so it's going to take in so x, I, y, j. Right. Render pixels by symmetry. So it's going to be const int x, const int I, const int y, const int j. Right? And if I look at this, okay. And so let's just take this. Take that. Light source. And now basically all I'm going to do is that paste it here. And SDL pixel, SDL rect pixel. I don't need this anymore. And here I can just do RenderPixelsBySymmetry, render X, I, Y, J. Right, and I can do the same here. Okay. Well, maybe I'm just going to... This video is all going to be about cleaning the code. Not going to be the most interesting video of all time, but maybe I'll just record 2 videos at once. I'll just stop recording this at around 30 minutes, and then I'll just start recording the other one, just to make 2 separate videos, instead of 1 big video of 1 hour. Okay, this is good. Is there anything else I should clean? Maybe at some point I'll just do this once I have created my abstract obstacle class. But yeah, maybe I'll create a function to create obstacles, or like a design pattern, which is, I think it's a factory design pattern to create obstacles, something like that. I'll think about it. I'll study a little bit how to implement factories, like the design pattern, and then I'll come back and do it. Let's see. Set color, draw. No problem here. You know what? I have an idea. What if for the constructor here we had 2 of them? So for the ray, and we'll just have here, we'll just have uint red, uint green, uint blue, uint alpha. So that we have 2 constructors, and this is going to be red, green, blue, alpha. That way we have 2 constructors and everyone's happy. I won't have to, like in the main call here, I won't have to do LightSource ls1 and then set the color. If I already know what color I want it to be, I can just pass in the color as a parameter of it. Things that can be nice. And so I'm gonna have to do the same thing for so I'm just going to copy this. I'm gonna have to do the same thing but for the light source. So let me just take that, copy paste it here, then come back here, look at this, take it and paste it here. Okay. And then this is going to be red, green. Right, so I saw this. I see it. Blue and alpha. Oops. Alpha. Okay. I think this is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. I'm just going to separate them because also it gets a bit difficult to read. It becomes a little bit difficult to read it. I'll do this because that's just what I prefer to do, but I'll just separate them this way. Okay. Same thing here. Prefer having it this way. So now let's see. So if I want, I can just do 0x fd I'll just copy all of it here. This technically I don't need it anymore. Cool, cool, cool. And now, see if this works. It still works. Good. Now, so now we are exactly 200 lines of code, which is pretty cool. So this video is actually just going to be about cleaning the code, isn't it? Well, yes, that's just how things are. Everything cannot be interesting in life, otherwise nothing would be interesting. Okay. I'm just going to go through the code and see if there's anything else I should do. Should I make this a method or not? Yeah, I could make it like a method called get collision coordinates. Yeah, actually that's a good idea because I think I'm gonna need it later on for when I'm going to do reflection. So I'll make this a private method for now. I don't know if it's a good practice. I don't think I've ever studied anything talking about private methods, unless you're trying to like make the constructor or destructor private or something. But okay, so calculate coordinates. Calculate collision coordinates. Right, and so it's going to take. What does it use here? So basically, it's just going to take in. Oh, I just had another idea. Like I have a lot of parameters that are pointers here, but I should make them references. Well, that's because I'm actually more used to programming in C than in C++. I'm currently, honestly, I'm just learning C++ right now. So it's kind of a habit to make everything a pointer, but I'm gonna also make them references, maybe not in the video because this is actually going to be super boring, so maybe I'll just make them like on my own. I'll just do that on my own, but calculate collision coordinates. And what it's going to do is, so what do we need? We need, do we need the fact that it collides or not? This is just for the loop, within the loop. Like this could technically just be defined in the loop. Like it's just, the function is basically just going to be all of this, right? I mean all of this. And what we're trying to get is just p2x and p2y. So maybe this is just going to return SDL point collision, calculate collision point, and basically I'm gonna need to give P1, right? I'm gonna need P1 as well as the angle. So SDL, so the angle is already a private attribute of the class, so I won't have to pass it. So const SDL point P1 P1, I don't know because I have P1 already defined here, but point start, right? And what else do I need? So the angle, I already have it in the class as a private attribute. The obstacles, so const SDL rect obstacles, and maybe int count as well. I'll do this here. Don't forget this, Ray, and let's see. Right, constant. Keep forgetting something. I'm always forgetting something. And so basically, I'm just going to take all of this, actually, and just put it here. Point collision. And so maybe this is going to make it more explicit if I do it this way, more readable. Right? And I feel like this is useless, so I'll just try it without it. And now I'll do return point collision. And does it need to be a pointer or a reference? I don't think so, because I'm not using memory for anything, honestly. And so I'll just do SDL point P2 equal to calculate collision point. Point start is going to be P1 obstacles count. Const ray. Right, so no, what am I doing? The object has type qualifiers that are not compatible with the member function CalculateCollisionPoint. Object type is const array. What does this have to do with? I'm not sure I understand the error here. Search online. You're passing no as a const, but you try to modify it. So I'm passing something, so P1 maybe? Am I modifying P1? So maybe if I don't make this a const. Let's read. You're passing no as a const. Let's see, where does he do his number? Const phone number. Number set. Here, yeah, he's trying to modify it here. Am I trying to modify anything here? Maybe it's the obstacles. I feel like it ain't, but... Wait, by the way, this should be const count here. Constant count. Let's try this. Where is it? So this modifies obstacles, right? Because maybe is it because we are sending in the address of obstacles, and so I don't really know what's going on in here. And so, okay, since I don't really know what's going on in here, I cannot pretend that this is const. I guess let's not make this const. So in draw, Wait, that was maybe not the issue actually. No, that was not the issue. I'm not sure. Calculate collision point. Right, so I mean it has to do with the fact that something is const here, right? It has something to do with it. For sure. Calculate collision. Calculate collision. Calculate collision. And it's obstacles. But I'm not trying to change obstacles here. Oh my god. I'm trying to figure out myself, but let's see. Let me see. I mean, I want to keep things constant here, like the obstacles and all that. I'm not modifying them, so I should be able to pass them as constant. This I should be able to make it constant, like draw here. I should be able to make it constant. This, I know about this. Like here, it wants me to make it const because in all the other functions it's a const. I mean, not here, like here. Right, so where is it not unhappy? P1? Can't be with P1. No, otherwise it would do something about it. I wanna click on generate copilot summary, but I want to be able to figure it out myself. Has type qualifiers the object, so the object this, right? Has type qualifiers that are not countable as a member function. You know what? Maybe I'll just do. You know what? Maybe I'll just do some really good C++ here. SDL point P end. And you know what? You know what? This is going to be something very, very sick. Okay. And then P end is going to be equal to point of collision. And so here, I'm just going to do this. And here I'm going to pass in P2. Or the address of P2. Well, this still doesn't work. Do I use Copilot? Oh. I really want to. If I don't figure it out within 5 minutes, maybe I'm gonna try to use Copilot. Maybe I should look at all this stuff here. But I mean, this is basically just like Copilot, so. Oh my god. So maybe I can make count const. That's for sure. I'm not going to modify count. And point start. I'm not going to modify this as well. So so I should be able to make it const. This has to be like just a basic mistake that I'm not seeing. Like some things that I have learned, I know it, but I don't get it. If I do... Right, I can do this. You know what? Let me see. Yeah, no, this is not gonna work. It would have been funny, to be honest. This, by marking them as constant entries, it can be called as constant objects of the array class. But my object is not const, is it? And this method is const, for sure. Let's see, if I do this... Oh, I get it, it's because I'm a draw const. Right, fuck off, man. Oh no. Okay, so I got it. I'm happy with it, but because I made this const. But in reality, the renderer here, this line here, modifies it. Modifies the renderer, or is it this one? I'm not sure I get it. Like I get why const here was a problem, but I'm not sure why this was an issue and not this. Anyway, does this still compile? Or did I break everything? This still compiles. Good. Everything still seems to work. So that's good. Okay, clean the code. While I'm at it, let's just... it's been 40 minutes, so let's just continue. Let's make it another 1-hour episode. You know what? Fuck the 30-minute format. Let's continue. So RenderPixelsBySymmetry. This is RenderPixelsBySymmetry, so that's cool. Render circle, RenderPixelsBySymmetry. Good, good, good. This is, I can keep it here. I mean, it's just rendering the arrays, so it's doing what the name suggests. This is cool. I could do it inline since it's literally just that, but let's keep it this way. And then when I'm over here, so this looks good to me, but now what I'm going to do is create other files. So new item here, and I'm going to call it raise. Raise, plural. Let's make it plural. And does it give me the option to make a header file with it or not? Doesn't seem so, so maybe I can select both at the same time. No, I can't. So raise CPP, and then header files, I'll do raise, make it a header. Right. So, I have the two of them here. Pragma ones, good, thank you for making that. And first thing I'm going to do is check a few things. Yeah, I'm going to need SDL in raise here, so I'm going to do basically I'm going to need everything here except vector maybe. Or am I going to need vector for raise? Do I need vector for raise or not? No. So I'm going to need this here. No IO stream because I have no exception checking. I don't really need any, to be fair, because I'm not using any memory. I'm not making memory allocation, I mean. So yeah, let's just do that. Include SDL, include CMath. Now, all of this, I'll just cut it and put it here. Right, and now it's going to complain about this. So maybe what I should do, I don't know if that's a good practice or not, but we're going to make a file called constants.h. I'm just going to include it everywhere, basically. Which itself is probably not good practice, but I'm going to do this. Constants. Right. Leave a line here. And so here, I feel like in main.cpp I won't have to include anything, but what I need to include for sure is include constants h. And now nothing is complaining, so that's good. And in raise.cpp I'm going to include raise h, and I'm going to take all that, put it there. Right. I think this works. I think this works. And here I'm going to include raise h. Right. Now let's do the same for LightSource. So LightSources .h, because I might have different types of light sources, so that's why I'm doing it plural. Wait, what did I do here? Oh, let me just delete this. New light sources, and here new light sources. Right, and here just going to include light sources h. Right, so it's still registering what's happening. And then my main file. So light source h, I'm also going to include constants. And here I'm gonna have to include I'm gonna have to include a vector, and I'm also going to have to include raise.h. Right. And it's not going to do any circular inclusion or whatever, because include light sources.h. Wait, actually, I don't even need this. Banger. And ls type is going to be here. Of course, it is. Just make it. Let's just put it here. And ls type. And now in main CPP, I'm going to take in this. Right. I know. Lots of errors right now, but I'm going to fix it. Give me a second. And now all of this. Oh, this is going to be a bit satisfying. Up. Right, so here. Okay. Here. Boom. So no inclusion issues. I think so far. Seems to be clean. Oops, I think my microphone did something weird because I heard something weird in my headset. Seems good. This looks good. This looks good. This looks good. And this looks good as well. So let's see if this runs. Please run. Okay. Does this run? Same as before. So this is what cleaning the code does. Doesn't change anything, just makes the code a little bit more readable. At some point, I guess I'm gonna have to add some comments as well. But I mean, I guess I'm making videos about it, so I can just refer to my own videos. Okay. Is there anything else I should do to clean the code? Not really. I feel like this is fine. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna stop the video here. Next up, so done. This actually wasn't the plan for this video. I might be lying when I say that, but this might not be the plan for this video, but actually it's just a plan for today, because I'm going to stop recording here and just do another video where I'm going to do, well, the rest, like all of this. So, see you all. Well, that's a little bit ambitious, but thank you for watching, and yeah, goodbye. So in the next video I'm going to take care of this. Goodbye.